My amplified unit, I want you to all play along for a second. No exceptions, every single one of you needs to play along. Because it's the only way that I'm going to get a true, honest answer out of all of you. Picture, we're in 1996. It's the debut of Rocky Maivia. You know him as The Rock. But only because a big decision would be made in the summer of 1997. We'll get to that in a second. But 1996 is a Survivor Series. It's Rocky Maivia. He's coming out. He's all smiley. He's saying the right things. He's trying to be the next big face, the next big thing in WWF at the time. But for the next year, or better part of a year, it just isn't working. People are actually appalled by the dude. Now there's some kids that are loving this guy. There's some women that think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But most of that audience, they're booing him. And week after week, Vince kept parading him out there, and we kept trying to say, we don't want this guy, or we need to see a different side of this guy for us to accept him. Finally, summer of 1997, Vince pulls the trig, and he allows Rocky Maivia to turn into The Rock and join the Nation of Domination. He allows Rocky Maivia to turn heel, and if he had never allowed the Rocky Maivia character to do such, The Rock would not be around today. The Rock as you know him today as Hollywood movie star Rock, or The Rock that we have in pro wrestling history. It all would have never happened. Vince listened to us and knew that we needed to see a different side of him in order to fully accept him. Could you picture, everyone has to participate now, could you picture if Vince never okayed that heel turn back in 1997? Could you imagine if Rocky Maivia stayed Rocky Maivia, Vince stayed stubborn and kept pushing him, eventually to the main events, year after year, your WrestleManias, your main events were Rocky Maivia. Could you picture it? If your answer is no, I don't even want to picture it, BC. That would be brutal. I don't even know if the company would be around today if Rocky Maivia was our headliner every year and not The Rock. Well, see, this was a trick question because whether you can picture it or not, we've lived it for the past 4 to 5 years in the form of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns was pictured to be the next big thing, the next big face. We almost immediately, once the Shield separated, vocalized our displeasure to Vince, saying we don't want this guy in this spot. Make him do the heel turn. Let's see the different side of him, and then we can fully accept him. But only once we've seen all of his aspects to his character, all of the dynamics that need to come into play. Only then, just like Rocky Maivia Rock, only then can we fully appreciate. We gotta see if this kid legitimately has it or doesn't have it. But unlike Rocky Maivia, Vince McMahon did not let Roman Reigns do that. He didn't let him do the heel turn. In fact, he kept parading him out there every week, every month, and soon those months turned into years. And after all the years went by, he still did not get this guy over to the main babyface level he wanted to. He still got the same 70-30, sometimes 60-40 reaction. And it was not more positive than negative. And some would say the difference, BC, between Rocky Maivia and Roman was that Roman got a big reaction. the reaction he gets isn't fun. It's not captivating. At least with John Cena, it was the first and should have been the last of that type of reaction. A 50-50 reaction. With Roman, it just became redundant, repetitive, and lackluster, mediocre, and nonsensical reaction-wise to the highest levels. That should not be what you're striving for. A 70-30, 60-40, 50-50 reaction is what you're settling for? You should be going out there and pushing a face that is going to electrify people, no pun intended to The Rock either, but literally captivating people. Your face should be getting chanted their name by the entire crowd in attendance. People at home should be on their feet when you win your matches. Kofi Mania exploding, Daniel Bryan's Yes movement exploding, Stone Cold Steve Austin having every single person out of their seat cheering for him. Nowadays, our top face is the 50-50 reaction. And again, with Cena, maybe it was fun. Maybe it was more 50-50. Let's go Cena, Cena sucks. With Roman, I went to a lot of these events live. I can tell you, it wasn't 50-50 for most of them. It was much more of a negative reaction. And guys, if this was a few weeks or a few months, that's fine, just to get Roman where Vince wants him to be. But this was year after year after year. In our main events, Triple H at WrestleMania 32 couldn't even get this guy over. Triple H, everyone says he buries everybody at WrestleMania. But he let Roman go over him, and it did nothing. Fans shit on the entire match, and they shit on the aftermath with Roman Reigns. The next year, it took a whole nother year to WrestleMania 33. Nothing changed. The reaction was the same. He gets noise, BC. That's why he's a top face. That's not the right type of noise. Half your arena at least, and more so, is booing this guy out of the building. But he's positioned as your top babyface. That's the problem. So after Triple H couldn't get him over at WrestleMania 32, a year later, WrestleMania 33, The Undertaker tries. The Undertaker only lost one WrestleMania in his career at that point, and that was to Brock Lesnar. The Undertaker takes the L to Roman at 33, and that couldn't even get him over. The fans shit on the match in the aftermath. Now another whole year goes by. Vince remains stubborn. He does not let Roman go heel. He does not give the fans what they need from Roman, which is a different dynamic and aspect to his character. We need to see if he truly has it, or is he just being pushed at levels we don't think he deserves or should be at yet. Vince refuses. So now we're at WrestleMania 34. You guys keep it up. Now he's about to take the title off of Brock Lesnar, but we see that nothing has changed still to this day. Vince McMahon now has people in his ear saying they will riot at 34 if he beats Brock Lesnar and takes the title. So they had to do a last-minute fuck finish where Brock keeps the title. Brock Lesnar kept the title. Vince had to offer Brock more money to stick around for a bit. Now, eventually, a few months later, right, Roman finally gets his championship. But trust me, that was supposed to be at Mania. They had to change their top babyface, supposedly. They had to prevent him from getting the title because there was possibly going to be a riot in New Orleans once he wins the title. They were going to flip out. People were going to shit on the entire WrestleMania as a whole if Roman got the title. So they had to change that. If you guys don't find fault or issues or problems or think this is a situation with this, everything that I just mentioned to you guys, this has been the whole culmination of Roman Reigns trying to be our number one, our top babyface, the main guy, and Vince remaining stubborn until we accept him. Could you imagine Rocky Maivia staying Rocky Maivia and never having the chance to show the crowd, to show the audiences, to show the fans what he truly has inside. The dynamics, every side of his character. That is tragic. That Roman never was given the opportunity, or maybe he thinks he can't flourish in it. But that's too damn bad. That's why we need to see if you can swim or are you gonna sink. It's sink or swim. If you don't have what it takes, once you go heel and you don't captivate us, because you ain't captivating us as a face, but if you don't have it as a heel, then bro, that's what we've been trying to say. Maybe you're not main event talent. You should have been there for years. People say he gets a reaction. It's not fun for us. Was that Triple H, that whole match and that whole storyline leading up, was that fun for most of you? No. Was it fun, that Undertaker match a year later, for most of you? No. Was that Brock Lesnar series of matches fun for any of us? No. Because we couldn't get captivated by it. Every time Roman comes down, there's noise. Boo. Ooh, we love Roman. We hate you. Boo. There's noise. Okay. Who the fuck cares? Danny Dipshit Dugenheimer and Billy Buttfuck McGee down the street at the local bingo hall get a reaction every time they go out. That doesn't mean they should be in WrestleMania main events. It's not a fun type of reaction. At least with Cena, it was a little more fun. And even that reached its course, where even years before Cena retired full time, he should have went heel as well. Just like Hulk Hogan, when his reaction died down, they knew turn him heel. And guess what? Hulk Hogan, just like Rocky Maivia, they ended up becoming the biggest things in the business. Because we got to see a side of them that captivated us. Why? I ask one question, even to the diehard Roman Reigns fans out there. Why will Vince not just give him the chance to show what he has? It's the wrestling business. Going heel is a natural thing at times. Some people don't ever have to, others have to, or should. I know Vince's plan for Rocky Maivia, it didn't come to fruition, to the point where they were literally chanting Die Rocky Die, and Rocky sucks. So they turned him, they let him go to the Nation of Domination, and The Rock exploded to be one of the biggest names and things in the pro wrestling and in the world's history. Look where he is today. My question is this: how much longer do we keep playing this game? That is my question. How much longer do we keep playing this game? Every single week we parade him out there because he gets a reaction. Every month he goes out there and he gets a reaction as a top babyface. Every year at WrestleMania, he'll get the top reaction, right? They're slowly mingling him in right now. He beat Drew McIntyre at Mania. Now his next big feud we're hearing could be Baron Corbin, so he'll be fed. So they're trying to slowly integrate him in. They don't want to thrust him into the main events because they don't want the fans to go all negative on him again. They want Seth Rollins to have a little bit of glory with that championship. But trust me, he's just keeping it warm for Roman. And this all culminates, guys, this video, because of what we heard and what I told you guys immediately after Raw. What did I tell you guys was the main reason Roman Reigns was not used on Raw? It's because Vince McMahon feared the reaction that Roman was going to get this past Monday. And then all of a sudden, Sportskeeda came out with their story, citing several sources said that is indeed why Roman Reigns was kept off Raw. Because Vince didn't want a negative reaction. Because don't forget, this is the Mania after Raw, where Vince tells his commentators to tell the world that this is the one crowd in the calendar year, that cheers the bad guys and boos the good guys. So Vince had to protect his babyface from getting booed. Think about that. Your top babyface, or what Vince McMahon has positioned him to be for years, and he's going to be again, can't even be on a show because he might get a negative reaction. And you guys think that's okay? He came out after Raw went off the air and did a little farewell of sorts to Dean Ambrose, even though I think Dean Ambrose will be back. But a farewell for Dean Ambrose in front of Brooklyn. Roman came out after Raw went off the air, but that's when it's safe. That's when it's off the air and nobody's hearing the crowd reaction. Or the crowd's a lot less hostile because they know Raw's off the air. But I knew that's why they kept them off. They're still in the protection phase. Roman comes back from fighting what he just fought, and that is awesome, by the way. Mad props to Joe, mad props to Roman, whatever you want to call him. That's kick-ass. That's what we wanted to see. And we wanted to see him return. Return quick, return swiftly, and kick ass. But do it the right way. We're already seeing Vince protecting him. For what? Let him go out there and be a pro wrestler. We already told you we're not going to put him in the top spot as a fan. You can because you run the company. So Vince can always put him in the main events. We are not going to look at him as such. We need to see a heel turn. I don't know how many times I have to say this on behalf of most professional wrestling fans, and I don't know how many times, or how many different languages I should say, I need to say this in. How many times, how many different ways, how many languages. We need to see Roman Reigns heel. This is no longer an ask. This is no longer something that we're hoping for. This is no longer something that we're kind of nudging toward. Hey, suits and ties, you gotta kind of think about this idea. No, this is no longer something to null over. This is something that needs to happen. It's sitting in your lap. This guy could have came back. You got the big response pop that you wanted from him when he came back from fighting what he just fought. And that's awesome. You gave him his moment to thank everybody real, like real life. And you got everyone a chance to give him the props. Now we need to start a storyline where he starts to think clearly, storyline-wise. And he's thinking, you know what? For years, I tried to do the right thing. And to get your guys' positive reaction, to get you to cheer for me. And it took me almost dying for you to finally say, hey, Roman, thanks. Or to cheer me. It took that to get you to, if that's the case, I don't need and I don't want your cheers. You can shove them up your ass. And Roman Reigns starts a story in the rest, or at least the next chapter of his career, being heel. And now the gloves are off. He has no restrictions. He doesn't have to be left off of Raws because they're scared of his reaction. He gets to go out there and have matches that we might actually care about and we won't shit on. Now when you force him, he's the bad guy. He can play along with it now. It's sitting in your lap. This is beautiful. WWE has always put real life into its storylines, vice versa. Time has passed since he's been back. He's already had a WrestleMania victory, playing the safety net babyface Roman. Time has passed. Now you can use this as part of the story. Because hell, it's real life. The people that were booing the guy in real life stood up and said, hey, we got you, man. Good luck, best of luck, come back soon. And when he came back, we cheered. That's real life. Because we know when to put the storyline, when to put pro wrestling aside and talk about the actual person, which was Joe. And we wanted to see nothing but the best. We wanted him to kick that shit's ass. And he did. And that's awesome. And we paid him the respect. And in real life, we never want that shit to come back and fuck with Joe or Roman. But storyline-wise, you need to make this a part of it, and now you need Roman to go heel. If not, here's the tragic truth. Guys, this is the tragic truth. We are going to play this game for the foreseeable future, until Roman one day retires. This is the game we're going to play. Vince is going to stay stubborn. The fans are not going to fully be on board ever. And nobody wins the game. We're going to continue to play this game, and nobody's going to win this game. Vince is not going to win. He's never going to get what he truly wants, which is all the fans unanimously all coming together and cheering this guy on in victory over a dastardly villain at one of his big pay-per-views. It's never going to happen. At WrestleMania, he already saw the reaction to that match. It was already died down. That good time nature feel of Roman coming back, it's slowly diminishing. Now he's getting back into the swing of things. He's back into the wrestling world, and we're back to treating him like a pro wrestler. And just because he came back from fighting that doesn't mean we're going to treat him any differently, character-wise, than we did beforehand. We still need to see that. If you don't pay your landlord 4 months of rent and he's about to evict you, but you come down with some deadly illness, and your landlord's there at the hospital every day willing you on and hoping you get better, not because of the money, he just wants to see you as a human being. He got to know you personally. He wants to see you do better. And you finally get better. You beat the illness. And you come back to your apartment, your landlord's making you tea and soup and whatever you need, and he's being nice to you. But after a few weeks, a few months, you're better, you're tip-top shape, you're back at work. Your landlord's going to eventually want his money from the 6 months previous and the new months. That's not going to change. You're still his tenant. You're still leasing from him. He's still your landlord. The crowd still needs to see you be that villain, be that heel, be that bad guy. Because then we'll know, if you didn't make it as the top babyface, you didn't captivate us, and you cannot make it as a top villain, a top heel, a top bad guy, then no, you are nothing more than mid-card talent. Us fans are not stupid, man. We knew there was something special in Stone Cold, and that's why we went ballistic and catapulted Stone Cold into that era. We knew there was something special in Daniel Bryan, and we created the Yes Movement. We knew Kofi Kingston had something to offer this business more than what the 11 years previous showed, and sure enough, we willed it to what was called Kofi Mania. Without the fans, none of that happens. And we all can admit those were some of the most epic movements in epic times in pro wrestling. That Yes Movement is one of the best times in pro wrestling I can remember. The Kofi Mania we just went through, that wild ride the past several months, one of the best in wrestling history. Stone Cold, The Rock, in willing them to the positions they were in as fans, and being able to cheer them on and create those movements, that was amazing! And for some reason, Vince is protecting this guy like none other. No other we have ever seen in the pro wrestling business. We've never seen anything like this. And it's making it not fun for the fans. These WrestleMania main events with Roman Reigns, go back and watch. The crowd was out of it. The beach balls were rolling. And you expect the fans at home to be captivated when your audience in attendance isn't even paying attention? That's a problem. And when you have people saying, but it's a reaction, they're playing with a beach ball. They're playing with a beach ball. And you're telling me he's getting a reaction. I pose a question. Could there be a better reaction? Maybe like 80% of the crowd is cheering for him? Hey, here's a concept. Maybe that's a cool reaction. And here's another concept. Maybe that would get people more excited. And not playing with a beach ball and watching his actual match. There's just a thought. You got a guy who literally is not going to get what you want. Why would you not just turn him heel? They're playing with beach balls. They're saying this is bullshit during his matches. What more proof do you need? What are you trying to prove? That at your old age, you just want to be as stubborn as hell, and one of your last things in this company is going to be getting Roman over fully. It's not fun for us. You wonder why seats are more and more empty at all your shows, not just live events, but on Raw and SmackDown. More and more seats are empty. You wonder why your ratings continue to dip. You wonder why merchandise is nowhere near what it once was, sale-wise. You wonder all of that. You don't have to wonder. It's because the guy you positioned at the top was never actually the top guy. And you can have people that are going to hate on this and say I'm throwing shade at Roman or hating Roman. I actually dig Roman. I really do. If you watch this channel faithfully from day one, you know that. But everything I am saying right now is truth and factual, and I don't have to back up my statements anymore. You can just do your own research and go back to those Mania main events and Mania matches and the Royal Rumble victories when Roman Reigns was about to be booed out of the building. The roof was going to come off. That's how loud those boos were. Nobody wanted to see this guy win the Rumble and go on the Mania. But he gets a reaction. That's why he's getting there. So they settled on the first guy that got a reaction. And it wasn't even a fun booing reaction. It was a literally, we don't want to see you reaction. That's not good. It was like when Nia Jax busted up Becky Lynch and everyone said, see, Nia's going to get real nuclear heat now and it's going to propel her career. Did it? No. And who told you from day one it wasn't going to? The Amplified Man. And you know what I got as responses? Oh, whatever, dude. Heat is heat, and it's only going to make her better. Trust me, it's only going to get her reaction. And did it ever? No. Nobody cared about Nia going forward. But Vince captured some of that nuclear heat for her and tried to push her, but the fans were still like, no. What the fuck does that have to... In fact, we definitely don't want to see her anymore. She needs to go back and train. For busting somebody up like that at their peak momentum like Becky Lynch was having. A reaction doesn't translate into excitement. Somebody getting a reaction doesn't translate in good television. Doesn't translate in asses and seats and ratings going up and merchandise going off the roof and through the roof. No! I'm so sick of the he gets a reaction shit. And then you see what happened this past Monday. Vince was scared to put him out there because of the reaction. So now, the same thing everyone tells me is why Vince parades him out there. He gets a reaction is the same thing why Vince is no longer parading him out there some weeks. Because of the reaction. He wants to keep the reaction that we all gave him when he came back from his illness. Dude, that's not going to happen. We're all thankful that he's back and healthy and better than ever, hopefully. But he's back to being a pro wrestler in the pro wrestling world. And you bet your ass we're back to being those fans. And we know what we need to see, not want to see. This isn't about what we want. This is about what needs to happen. You are absolutely shoving this dude down everybody's throat. That's right, that's what Roman Reigns fans hate that term. He's not being shoved down our throat. Oh, he is. Trust me. So you're doing that for years. And you're not even allowing us to see this guy's full potential. Or does he just not have it? I'm calling your bluff, Vince. I'm calling Roman's bluff. It's time to expose or be exposed. Expose all of our doubts, and I'll be fine with it. I'll say, hey, he did it, and that's what I'm hoping for. Expose all of our doubts. Or, Roman, Vince, you'll be exposed. I am now posing the question, why have we not seen Roman heel yet? You don't think that's going to get a reaction? You don't think that's going to be a big, huge opportunity for other faces to work off of him and try to be the next big baby face? That's the best opportunity. They won't even give other people a chance. Roman can do a lot of good for this business and in a way where we actually want to see him in the ring, but nobody's allowing him to do such. Something's up here, and I'm posing the question, what the fuck is it? It's clear. Roman Reigns did not bring asses to the seats. Roman Reigns did not bring ratings to the table. So if the numbers aren't there, what are you doing, man? You gotta turn this dude heel and let's see what he really has. All the money that Vince is getting right now, everyone says business is great. What do you mean? It's Roman. This has nothing to do with Roman. This is Fox giving him a huge deal. And the first names Fox wanted was Brock and Ronda. That was the report we heard. We heard nothing about Roman they wanted. They didn't give two shits about Roman. Fox gave that $1 billion to Vince, and it didn't even have to do with Roman. Saudi Arabia gave tens of millions of dollars for the next several years. That's how Vince made all that money. It wasn't for Roman. They wanted all the superstars. They wanted The Undertaker to come back, Shawn Michaels to come back and have a match. We wanted Triple H to come back. Try to get Chris Jericho, and Jericho went to that first event. Try to get all the big names. And yeah, Roman's good too if you could bring him. Try to get John Cena over. Over? That was really New York. Try to get him over. What the hell's going on over here? I'm trying to talk wrestling. Get him over here. Anyway, guys, that's where all the money's coming from. Don't fool yourself. Don't think Roman's the reason Vince got all this money. If you just do your research, you will see. Watch the matches and watch beach balls being flown in the air instead of watching his match. Watch everyone yell, "This is bullshit." Watch people be frustrated, not just in a fun way that the bad guy won the match, but when pay-per-views went off the air, you see YouTube videos of the crowd actually nauseated that they just witnessed that as the ending. They sat through 3+ hours and the ending was a guy they didn't even want in that position. When that happens time and time again, that's no longer fun for the fan. And that's what I mean about nobody wins here. Vince is not winning because he's never going to get the reaction he wants for Roman, and the fans are never going to win either because we're never going to put him there, so we're always going to see this shit. And if you think Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin is where Roman Reigns is going to stay, no. He's going right back to that top spot, and he's going to take that Universal Championship. Whether it's from Rollins or somebody else, which it probably will be somebody else, he's going back to that. It's being groomed to go back that way. No heel turn, just protected Roman. And every single person in the process will be used to try to get this guy to be the top babyface. And he'll still get a collection of some of the kids, some of the women, and even some of the dudes that don't give a shit about seeing what this guy truly is capable of. They're happy with him just going out there, dun-dun, 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 and do his Superman punch, his spear, and call it a night. They're not interested in kick-ass storylines or fucking an electric crowd or people giving a shit. Or maybe they really like beach balls, so they want Roman to stay that way. So when they go to the events, there's going to be more beach balls, more of a chance to play with everyone. Right? They weren't played with enough at fucking recess. So they're going to look at a Roman Reigns match and look at that as recess. Who knows what they're... Maybe they just really like them. There's something about this guy. They just love him. But is that Joe? Or is that Roman? Maybe you really like Joe because he's kind of just like Roman. I mean, what's the character? You know, Stone Cold said it best. It's good to be yourself and have aspects of yourself in your character, but you have to dial it up to 10. Roman Reigns, we have never seen Roman dialed up from 10 from Joe. Who he is as a person, we've never seen that amplified to 10. Whereas Steve Williams, when he turned into Steve Austin, he dialed it up to 10. Rocky Maivia, when he turned into The Rock, he turned that into 10, Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, when he became The Rock, that was a 10. Rocky Maivia was a 1. I need to see that 10 from Roman Reigns. Right now, this Roman Reigns from Joe, the real life guy playing the character Roman, that's about a 3 or a 4 maybe tops. And that's what we, fans that actually know what the fuck they're talking about and know what we want to and need to see, we have to sit back and accept this bullshit. A guy playing at a 3 and a 4 right now. I like Roman. I really do. And again, people won't understand that. They'll say I'm throwing shade, I'm throwing hate. I like the guy. That's why I want to see him propel and prosper in this business. Because in the process, everybody wins. Vince makes more money. Roman gets to be the best character he's ever played. He's going to have the most fun, too. I promise you. He probably doesn't even realize how much fun he's going to have when he gets to turn full throttle heel. baby faces are really going to be able to be created. Now that he's out of the way and put as a top heel, people are going to be created in that spot naturally. And the fans, we win too. Because we're going to be excited for our main events finally again. Matches like Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston we'll be able to see down the line. Things we actually want to see. Or what Ronda and Becky Lynch was going to be at Survivor Series last year before Nia Jax ruined it. You know, matches that are organically just happening out of nowhere, and we're loving it, and we're starting to see people, even I, not even a Becky Lynch fan, and I started to jump on the bandwagon during that Survivor Series run or late summer of 2018. I started loving it. Things can happen when people move out of the way and let shit happen naturally. When people force things upon people, it's not going to work. Ever. That's in anything in the world, not just pro wrestling. We just saw that with Becky Lynch last year. We saw it with Kofi Kingston this year. We saw it with Daniel Bryan several years ago. Back in the Attitude Era, we saw it with Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. Organically let shit happen, but you gotta try new shit. Roman came back from this. We were hoping they had something big planned. Guys, they didn't. It's just the same Roman Reigns. Now he's being protected even more. And it looks like this is going to be a few matches with Drew and then Baron Corbin, and then he's going to be right back in the top spot. And he's just going to get the reaction. Beach balls will be popping. This is bullshit chants will be blazing. And no excitement will be had. We'll continue to play the same game, a game in which nobody can win. Not Vince, not the fans. Nobody in between. That's the truth. You ain't gotta believe it. But it's the facts. And I understand that. I could tell you Santa Claus isn't real. That's the truth. You don't have to believe it, but that would be the facts. Wrestling fans, this isn't new to us. If it's somebody like me, I've watched for 3 decades plus. I know the progression of a pro wrestler and what needs to happen. I saw it with Hulk Hogan. I saw it with Steve Austin. I saw it with The Rock. Roman has been in that spot where he needed to show us something more. And for years now, it's a refusal. I don't know if it's both him and Vince, just Vince. I don't know if they're both scared, if just Vince is scared, if Roman doesn't think he can hack it as a heel. I don't know what it is, but that's what I mean. There's something that is not gelling with a huge part of the pro wrestling fan base, the pro wrestling community. Something is not connecting with Roman Reigns. So that's why I say we have to see that other side. Vince is refusing. Something is up. It's time to either put up or shut up. It's time to be exposed or expose all of us and our doubts. If you expose our doubts and he turns heel and he flourishes, that's what I want to see. I'll gladly come in front of this camera and say, yes, that's what I wanted. I wanted to be proven, I kind of be proven right because I said he needed to turn heel because I do see something in him. So actually I'd be right. But I'll also say, thank you for exposing any doubts we had that he wouldn't flourish as a heel. But if not, then you're just being exposed. What are you hiding from this guy? Hulk Hogan, the guy who said eat your vitamins, say your prayers, drink your milk, and do all the good shit in the world, he ended up turning heel. Smiley Rocky Maivia told the fans to shove it up their ass, basically. Roman can't do this for more than just himself, but for the business? We already saw John Cena going for business for himself because he loved Make-A-Wish and he loved being the bright spot for the kids and the fan base that did cheer for him. That's great. But in the process, the actual company suffered. The storylines would have been epic if John Cena, towards the end of his career, is fine if you needed it to be. It really should have been during his career, but toward the end is fine. You turn heel, you have epic storylines, you produce new babyface talent. 1 or 2 might actually stick, might work. Instead, John Cena stayed and hogged that middle spot where no heel could really flourish because he kind of was. No face could really flourish because he kind of was. And then Cena stepped to the side. Roman is now in that spot of the in-betweener. No heel can really flourish because Roman kind of is. No babyface can really flourish because Roman kind of is. Which is it? That is why the company is falling flat on its face. That is why fan interest is at an all-time low. That's why ticket sales are down. Ratings are going down. Nobody gives a fuck about merchandise. You're not creating anybody. You're taking this one guy, you're putting him right in the middle. He's like clogging the highway. Heels are trying to be made. Faces are trying to be made. And one stupid car is sideways trying to hog the whole highway up. Roman is clogging up the highway. He needs to pick a lane, and we've already seen how slow he went in one lane, so now he's got to go to the left lane and go into high gear. Fast pace. Now you need to be hitting $110 minimum on this highway. We need to see what this guy truly has now. I'm fed up. I've had enough. I like Roman. I want to continue to do such. Now I need to see what he truly has. It's pro wrestling. People turn heel all the time. Because they think it'd be better for their career, sometimes they just have to. In Roman's case, it's both, so do it! And the story is sitting in your lap. You don't even gotta get too creative. The Amplified Man. That's all I got on this situation. I've spoken this so many times before, and now he's back, and I'm just seeing the same kind of pattern. If we speak up, and we do it often enough, loud enough, maybe we can help create change. We did it for Daniel Bryan. We did it for Kofi. Maybe we can create the ultimate heel turn of ultimate heel turns. Or maybe not. Maybe it's business as usual, and if that's the case, let me head over to the local Target and pick up any beach balls they have. So, BYOB, bring your own beach balls to the next big WrestleMania. We'll have a party during Roman's match. Guys, I'm the Amplified Man. I'll see you for the Raw review and reaction this Tuesday morning, SmackDown's review and reaction this Wednesday morning. Thank you all for the support on the Sasha Banks videos I was putting out the past couple of days. The numbers are blowing me away, and the response is... I can't even keep up, man. The comments are flowing. The admiration and the love you guys are showing to those videos is amazing, man. Heading toward 10,000 on my last video, which is the Sasha Banks update video. That's headed toward 10,000 up front. Yeah, crazy, man. Shows you that was a hot topic. But, you know, it is what it is, man. These videos are very important to the wrestling community, I feel. I feel I'm speaking for a lot of people that are just fed up with just the question, why? Why? Well, won't they just go heel with this guy? What is the big thing? Getting a response is not a good enough excuse. It's not the response this guy could be or should be getting. It could be an ultimate response one day. If he goes heel, spends a good 1.5 to 2 years doing that maybe, then comes back face, he could be electrifying 90% plus people cheering this guy. The response could be better, but they just don't want to even try. They're scared shitless. But of what? The whole thing was a failure anyway, trying to make him a top babyface. So, you got nothing to lose. I'm the Amplified Man. For now, check you.